Do you ever find yourself apologizing or downplaying your strengths to make someone else more comfortable? There are ways that you may be giving away your power without even realizing it, and it impacts your confidence, it impacts your self-esteem, and it really does take away from the person that you are or who you want to be. Listen to this episode and see if you find yourself doing these things that give away your power, that give away your essence, that give away more of you than what you should really be giving away. Have you ever felt held back by self-doubt, whether it's speaking up in a meeting or connecting with others or simply just believing in your own worth? Well, you're not alone. Welcome to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I'm Heather Edwards, Master Certified Life Coach, and my goal is to empower you to step into your most authentic, confident self. Here, you're going to discover practical strategies and powerful insights to help you improve your communication, deepen those relationships, and elevate your self-esteem. And each week, I'm going to guide you through some actionable tips and mindset shifts that are specifically designed to help you break free from fear, show up boldly in every area of your life, and build crazy confidence. Are you ready to stop hiding in the shadows, playing small, and avoiding the spotlight? Grab your favorite pen and a notebook, and let's get to it. Years ago, I played basketball back in high school and middle school, and I would say that I was pretty scrappy. I would bump into people, and I would actually apologize. All the time, I found myself apologizing. But when I was in high school as a freshman, I made the varsity team, and I remember my coach telling me, if you apologize, you are going to run bleachers. He just got tired of me apologizing. He knew it wasn't really effective for the game and for me and my playing. So he told me, if you don't stop apologizing, you're going to run bleachers. So eventually it broke my habit. And it also made me aware of when I tended to apologize and why I would apologize. I was making myself smaller for whatever reason on the court and off the court for a variety of reasons. And as I've gotten older and I've really gotten more information about what that behavior was caused from, it is interesting. It's a lack of self-esteem or a lack of knowledge or a lack of belief in yourself. And it's this not wanting to be a burden or not wanting to be in the way of other people. So when we give away our power and what we're talking about today, it kind of chips away at our self-esteem and it makes us feel less confident and less self-assured, but it impacts how other people see us too. So if you are someone who's really want to make an impact at work or an impact at home with your children, with your husband, this may be an episode that you would really want to hear because you will learn that these little things that you're doing may be undercutting you and may be giving your power away without you even realizing it. So as I said, if you're giving away your power, then you have some doubts in your brain about your ability or about your knowledge of some sort. And you're kind of downplaying you and your essence, for lack of a better term. So if you're listening to this and you are feeling this tinge of nervousness because you know that you give away your power sometimes, it's okay. I'm there with you, and I'm always on a quest to make myself more powerful, not in the way of taking over other people or being over other people, but really just the autonomy that I have over myself. So with a little awareness, a little bit of practice, and some specific action, you can stop this pattern of behavior. You can definitely improve your pattern of behavior. But the first part is figuring out, what are some of the ways that you are currently giving away your power? So listen here and see if you see yourself in any of these things. Seeking external validation from other people, from your boss, from friends, from whoever. You're seeking external validation rather than giving it to yourself. Letting other people dictate your emotions or how you are feeling at any given time. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in detail later. neglecting personal boundaries, which I think we all can do this on occasion. Allowing negative influences to control your reactions. So somebody who is somebody maybe you respect or you don't is negative all the time, but they control your actions and your reactions. Apologizing at inappropriate times, like in a basketball game when you bump into a playmate. Not speaking about your own needs or not knowing your own needs. I have gone to places in my life where I didn't know my own needs because I was so worried about other people and their needs that I really didn't focus on my own. So really consider, do you know what your needs are? And do you speak about them? Do you let other people know about them? Delaying or procrastinating decisions. Man, this is a big one for me. What do they say? I have not begun to procrastinate yet. This is me. So if you delay or procrastinate decisions, having limiting beliefs about yourself, things that may or may not be true, but limiting beliefs in general, overexplaining and understanding that no is a complete sentence. If you don't understand that no is a complete sentence, this may be you. Overexplaining your why you say no or why you don't want to do something, or even just overexplaining in general. Attempting to control others. Believe me, I'm with you if you are someone who wants to be able to do this, but it's simply not possible. We do not have control over other people, nor do we really want it ultimately. But if you are attempting to control others, you may be giving away your power. Not giving 100% of your energy or your focus to something by maybe something as simple as putting your phone in front of you, or not really being completely with your family or friends. When I go see people eat dinner and they're out at a restaurant and they have their phones in front of them, I'm just baffled by this, because guess what? You're not giving that focus to other people, and you're actually diluting your power. You're diluting your relationships. You're diluting your essence, your focus, and who you are and who you want to be. And the last thing that we'll talk about is avoiding difficult tasks or situations. By avoiding challenging yourself, you are 100% giving away your power. You're diluting yourself for the sake of being comfortable. So what do you think? Do you find yourself in any of these things? And if so, I'm going to say this is great news, and this is why. It means that there is a place for you to improve, and when you do, you will find your confidence will improve. So don't run away from this. Don't hide from this. Don't shame yourself about this. If you have some of these behaviors and you give away your power, take it as a sign that you now know some things that you can do to help you become a better version of you. And that's all you can do, is improve. So I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'm going to talk about ways that you can take your power back. So I've given you some ways you might be giving away your power. And if you're giving away your power and you feel lost and you're completely frustrated, maybe you're just in a really rough place. Maybe you need coaching. So go sign up for coaching. And if you're someone who doesn't think you can do this on your own, because I love helping people with that part of it. But if you are someone who just is really curious and wants to do some work on your own, this is some information that might help you. One of the biggest ways for you to take your power back is just to become more self-aware of your own patterns. And what are the behaviors that you do, what are the behaviors that you have, or the things that you say that give away your power? Just by that awareness, you become less likely to do them. The second thing is just learn how to set boundaries. Be clearer about what you need and your limits, and set boundaries around the things that you want or you don't want, and stick to them. I'm always a big advocate of this, but practicing self-compassion. Most of us are taught to treat others with kindness, and we forget that it's just as important to treat yourself with compassion and kindness, especially if you're in a really rough time of your life. So if you are someone who is rough on yourself, who has really tough or lots of shame and blame in your self-talk, this is for you. Learn how to practice self-compassion. Stop giving your power away by taking it back, and love on yourself a little bit. Take time to learn ways to improve. For instance, if you apologize too much, when is an apology necessary. Obviously, it's not necessary on the basketball court when you bump into someone, but also if you're late, you don't have to say, I'm sorry. You can say, thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate that you waited for me. In a situation that you don't understand what somebody says, you can say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said, which is the I'm sorry phrase. But you could say, could you repeat that? I didn't hear exactly what you said. That's just much more powerful. It's owning that you didn't hear it, and it's just asking for clarification. Be aware of why you're using I'm sorry and where you're using it. It really makes a difference. Then you can go on and focus on building confidence through taking small steps to accomplish goals. And make sure to celebrate along the way when you have a big project or something big going on in your life. Even if you're just trying to clean the house and you have 10 rooms to clean, celebrate along the way. Use positive self-talk and even use affirmations to help yourself if you have behaviors you're trying to correct. But don't forget to make sure to always acknowledge along the way for yourself. Honor your needs. Self-care is important, and make choices that support what you need. Work on explaining less. When you have to or you want to say no, just say no. Don't explain. You don't owe anybody more information, and they don't owe you any more information. And this one is something that I have the hardest time with. I'm a talker. Naturally, I just like to chit chat. I like to talk about things that have happened before. I'm constantly rehashing life in the sense that I like to tell stories about it. So I have this really, a need really to talk about all the details. And what I've learned is that sometimes you just need to say no and not explain the rest. And honestly, most people don't even want to hear it. So that is a way that you can take your power back and not give so much energy and effort into something that isn't really that important at the time. And then one that I really want to impress upon you is how important it is to not allow yourself to be controlled by other people. Now, let me give you an example of this, and it's going to be an example that may be surprising to you, but when my husband is upset about something, I naturally want to help him feel less upset. And whether he's upset with me, or maybe he's upset with something with work, or maybe he's just upset in general for whatever reason, he has something going on with him, I have this deep desire to make it better or find out what's wrong. But what I have learned is that when I get upset or I worry too much about why he is upset, and I get emotionally involved and impacted by his state of being, I'm giving away my power, and my power to be peaceful, and my power to be someone who is a steady force for him. Sometimes we can get drawn into somebody else's state of being, and then we lose ourselves. So be really careful, whether it's at work or at play with your spouse, with your kids. Be aware of how you give away your power by not allowing other people to be in their worlds and having their feelings or having their emotion. Give people space to deal with what they've got going on without getting caught up in it. I've experienced so many times where I get upset because someone else is upset, and I've realized over my years that this is just not necessary. And believe me, it goes both ways. When I am upset, I have learned to say things to my husband when I feel him getting into me, or I can see that I'm manipulating his emotional state. I will just let him know, hey, I just need some time to process this emotion, and I'll be fine. And it's okay for me to be upset right now. Just let me be upset and I'll eventually get over it. I'm a huge believer that we should own and process our emotions fully, because when we don't, that is when we're left with a lot of unhealed trauma or residual feelings that we just aren't even aware of because we haven't truly processed them. So let me ask you, how are you giving your power away? What is one thing that you could do just this week that you could take your power back? Think of one behavior or one simple thing that you could do and just commit to doing it this week and see, how does that help you feel stronger? How does it help you feel more capable? And certainly it will help you feel more confident. I hope you learned something here. I hope you're right along with me and that you're here for the growth and you're here for a more confident version of you. You just have to be willing to do the work. I will see you soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a blast. I would love for you to do me a huge favor and either go leave a rating or a review. And if you really love the podcast or you've learned anything at all, please pass it on to a friend or a family member that might enjoy the podcast as well. That's how I grow, and that's how I'm able to continue bringing you content. If you are interested in coaching, just go to thecrazyconfidencecoach.com. You can sign up for a free discovery call there. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you next Tuesday so we can build our crazy confidence together. Love you big.